I drank a Red Bull and smoked weed, and I have nothing to talk about.
Oh, I think you were going to start 10 businesses before the end of this podcast.
Oh, we're all dead with Chris and Matt, two idiots, friends in a great big chat. Meet the boys and hear their words. Their brains are full of stinky old turds. But what would you rather do instead? We're all dead. We're all dead. We're all
What's up, Matt? It's been a long time since we talked.
Now,
we talked about France.
it's like the tortoise and the hare, except the tortoise decides to take a nap. I'm going to be up and down this whole podcast, baby. Oh, dude, I have a story.
Hit me.
This is just out of nowhere. It was just something that popped in my old brain. When I was working at a grocery store, I got a job at a grocery store. This is probably 17 years ago now. So I went to the employee orientation, right? And they show you the corporate video from the big grocery store chain.
I was just about to ask if there was a video involved, because if it's a big grocery store, they do.
Dude.
Nice.
So
those are perfect gems, every one of them.
It was just me and one other guy in the orientation. We were the only two people sitting there. And he was an awesome dude. We got to know each other later, but like he was like a 300 plus pound Puerto Rican dude who looked like a wild gangster. Like he looked scary as fuck, and he knew he did. He was just like,
I'm guessing like tattoos. Neck tattoos.
Yeah, he was tatted.
Awesome. That's so sick.
He was the shit too. But we were sitting there watching it, and there was Human Resources put out this video, and there was basically a section of it that was how not to be racist to just people, your coworkers and customers. And me and this dude were laughing our tits off at the entire thing. There was no one else in the room with us, and we just started laughing.
Well, first of all, obviously, that section, you didn't take it seriously because you are a vehement racist.
Oh, yeah, I didn't take it seriously because I'm so racist, especially against big Puerto Rican dudes.
Jesus.
So there was a part in this movie where it was like two Hispanic cashiers we're just like having like just chit-chatting in Spanish.
Okay.
Right. And it's like two young Hispanic girls, and they're just like chatting in Spanish at the registers when there's no customers there. And this white dude who looks so Irish, this like young white dude walked by them, heard them speaking Spanish, and he goes, "Are you guys talking about me?" And me and this Puerto Rican dude died laughing. It was just like, what a paranoid fucking lunatic this character would be. Like, if you hear anyone speaking in a different language, you think they're talking
about me?
I was like, he doesn't have racism. He's a paranoid schizophrenic.
Like, I just laughed with a bunch of food in my mouth. Sorry to people watching this.
Dude,
my
I was like, he
God.
has a serious mental
That was his first thought. Was just like, hey, are you guys talking about me?
I was like,
that's
this
so weird.
I was like, yeah, no, this psycho shouldn't work here. Like, for sure. It was great.
And I mean, yeah, I don't know.
It's
not a great example of racism.
No, it's not a good example at all.
Oh, you two talking that mysterious foreign tongue. I can't believe y'all would do that in this corporate grocery store chain. I don't know why he became a wizard under a bridge.
Based on your accent, I was like, you live at a border town in Texas, sir. Like, you're just like, God damn it, another one of them. It's like, you mean 90% of your town?
Yeah, get used to it, Buster.
Yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, other people are slightly different than you. That's crazy. Let's make a big deal out of that.
It's like if the mayor of that town is Hispanic, he's gonna force you to paint your skin brown so you look like him.
They're taking over. Well, that is ridiculous. I love how it brought you guys together to watch such dumb shit.
Yeah.
Such
Like the two races were brought together that day by that amazing HR video.
Maybe that was their plan the whole time. Like they devised, they're like,
that's pretty good.
It has to be so bad and so dumb that people of other races will be in the room together. Because imagine if it was like 20 people and you had people from all walks of life and everybody was like, like what?
I think if there were a lot of, I think if there were a lot of people there, everyone would be too scared to be the one to laugh.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And some people, and there would also, if there was just like a white woman who's 47 years old taking it really seriously, that's the scariest.
She would be, you would get reported on your orientation day if you giggled at that video.
Well, she would be watching it and being like really learning stuff from it. Be like, I was accusing everyone of stealing. Weird. I didn't know you're not supposed to do that.
Oh,
it actually teaches somebody.
Well, I mean, if anybody could learn from it, that would be amazing.
Speaking of that, I was trying to think of a stand-up joke earlier because I was reading that Mexico. It was actually fell into this vein. It was like Mexico is now fatter than America. They're a bigger people than us. They've passed us. And I was like, I was trying to write a joke like America is, look, we're number one at two things: military shit and being fat. And the Mexicans are taking all of our good fat jobs. I think that was sort of the joke I was going for.
Not only do we have the number one military in the world, we have the fattest military.
That's why
I wish that was true.
That's why we're trying to invent as many robots as possible so we don't have to have our soldiers running around out there.
Well, yeah, they want to replace like Burger Kings in foreign military bases with battery charging stations for the robot dogs that they're unleashing on everyone. I don't know. It's just a different kind of logistics that they're creating by replacing people with, you
need a lot more engineers.
Mm-hmm. And they can be as fat as you want them.
My dad
they're smart.
My dad was an engineer who was in the army in Vietnam. But he was not an engineer in Vietnam. He was infantry. And then he was an engineer.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, maybe he was in the Army Corps of Engineers?
No.
He was an actual infantry guy. Did he ever talk about, like,
Ben Long
having to fight? Did he ever tell you stories?
Yes. I think he basically avoided any serious combat. But he did go on patrol and things did happen. He's like, all kinds of crazy shit happens in a war. Even if you're not on the front line, people still get killed constantly. Like just patrolling
accidents.
Your base, people shoot each other. Oh,
yeah,
so
you're clearing like a lot of Vietnam was like clearing jungle so that you could like set up camps and stuff like that, and that has effects that you don't always think about right off the bat. Like,
people probably died in chainsaw accidents.
Yeah, trees are falling, chainsaw accidents, trucks pulling stuff out, like someone getting crushed, like same sort of risks of like logging and all that sort of stuff. It's like that's a pretty dangerous job, and now you got soldiers who aren't specifically trained or experienced in that doing it. Like,
that is funny.
I don't know which direction this tree is going to fall, boys. Get ready.
Dude, that would suck to go home to America and you're in a wheelchair like Tom Cruise in Born on the 4th
Born on
of
the 4th of July.
And,
Oh, no.
and they're like, holy like what happens? And he's just like, we were pulling a stump out of the ground with a pickup truck and a chain, and the chain broke and whipped me in the spine so hard it broke it.
Oh my
You're
god!
like, fuck. But it's like, you're like,
Like,
oh, did you ever
so
see
it's-
The Enemy? Like, no, not one time.
So it was like friendly fire or friendly chain. I don't know. That's not an established military term, but
Dude, he's still got like,
I got
he's
injured
one of
with
those
friendly
guys that,
chain.
he's one of those dudes that has like the full uniform, the American flag wristband, his helmet is still on, like with all the shit written on it, and he's just like, yeah, man, he's got a long beard, he's all fucked
Yeah.
up, and he's like, stump removal went wrong. Oh
Dude.
man,
That's insane. I think Johnny B's dad went to Vietnam and was like a Lieutenant Dan type guy. Like,
actually, I think he said he
wasn't
so
it the exact same company was
so-
named in that?
he was
in the
a
movie?
lieutenant,
Yes.
and they give their platoon number, and he's like, that's my platoon number, and I'm Lieutenant Dan.
Yeah.
He was like,
I
they
was
were-
the lieutenant.
I
of
guess
that
they
platoon.
they randomly picked that number, I'm guessing.
Whoa. Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, he probably saw some pretty
Yeah,
serious action.
he did, and he
I
told
never
me some,
heard him talk about it either.
He's told me some a couple things actually because of France. So Hitler ordered the Nazis to blow up the Eiffel Tower when they took Paris, or when they were leaving Paris, or whatever what it was. I can't remember the scenario when he ordered it. But his generals were like, "Oh yeah, sure thing." And then his generals just looked at each other. They're like, "We're not blowing up the fucking Eiffel Tower." Like they were just like, "That's way too far."
Yeah. What strategic advantage would that
Yeah.
serve, man?
So
I
they
don't
were
know.
just like, so me and our buddy's dad, who was Lieutenant Dan, but he still has his legs. Sorry, it's not based on him. Just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
same. Yeah,
He's not the character, but he just
yeah.
served in that.
He just
position.
knows the character. He's best friends with Lieutenant Dan.
They were co-lieutenants.
So, yeah, he was like, "Oh yeah," he goes, "A similar thing happened to me." He goes, "We found he goes, "It was like this amazing wooden temple thing in the jungle in Vietnam, and he found out that it was like where the locals would go to and pray, and that's how you speak to like your dead relatives, is like at this place, and it's like some ornate wooden thing in the forest."
Oh no!
And
I'm
and
sensing
so-
a desecration coming.
well, so this same thing happened with Mr. B. That his higher up ordered them to like blow that thing up and just keep going, and he was like, "Yeah, absolutely, we'll do that." And then he got off the radio, was like, "We're not fucking blowing this thing up. Let's get out of here." He just walked away, and he was like, "They're never gonna fucking come and make sure we did that." He's like,
yeah, exactly.
He was just like, it
Blow
would just
that
be the
thing
same as blowing up a church for no reason. It's just like, what the fuck are you doing? What a
yeah.
dickhead.
What's the point of that? Yeah. Oh, let's make them more angry.
also, we lost that war. Good job. We did it.
Whoopsie.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
We watched the French do it, and then we said, hey, let's do exactly what they did. And then we did it again and lost too. That's pretty much what happened in Vietnam. It's pretty cool.
I mean, weren't we supporting the French at one point? Like, and it was it
yes.
wasn't about like it wasn't. We like okay. So there's always a real reason that a war is fought, and then there's a reason that is spoken to the public to get
Right.
their consent. Like
Yeah.
weapons of mass destruction was the reason why.
yeah.
We
And
went into
found them.
Iraq. That
What? Oh,
like,
no.
they Congress approved an act of war against Iraq.
Yes.
However, there was no evidence. There was a plan beforehand to go and do that, regardless of. They're just like, yeah, we want to destabilize the Middle East and try
it was
to
such a
establish
bad
more
lie
Western
that people
democracy.
retired.
It was
like,
such a
people-
bad lie that there were more protesters for the war in Iraq than any war previous. More people
Yeah.
knew that it was a bullshit premise, and you know,
Dude, people in
like,
his cabinet
we-
were like, "Oh wait,
yeah.
that was a lie. I resign." They like quit. Like they quit
Yeah.
working at the White House. Like,
yeah, they're like,
oh,
oops.
fuck,
Yeah,
oopsie.
but notice who didn't resign.
All the evil ones.
All the people who were responsible for it, who had no moral code.
Yeah, maybe you guys. Hey, other guys, maybe you shouldn't resign. You're fucking holding us together.
Yeah.
Colin
You are
Powell,
the
you
only
idiot.
ethical ones in this cabinet. You are protecting people. But yeah, no. But anyway,
Cool.
so the whole thing about Vietnam was like they were like liberating the capitalist Vietnam from
Right.
the communist Vietnam,
Right.
which
were the same people, by the way.
Yeah,
Just a
it
little
wasn't.
side note.
Yeah, and
They were still
imagine
fighting.
You're 18. You just got drafted. You fly into a helicopter into a jungle, and then they're like, "Okay, kill some of these people, but not the others that are our friends. Good luck."
And by the way, the people you're supposed to be fighting, they grew up right there fighting this war. They grew up
Yep.
fighting it.
They've been fighting the French for years.
Their parents were fighting it. I believe, and we should look this up, but I believe that they were fighting World War II, and that never ended. That war never ended. Their Vietnam War and World War II are the same war for them. It just continued.
Oh God.
So
That's
then
so fucked
we
up. That's like 20
show
plus
up.
years of war, which is insane.
So we show up and we're like, we're gonna get these communists. And it's like, these are the most badass guerrilla war fighters ever. Like these guys were fucking incredible soldiers.
Yeah.
We're like, oh fuck. And we even had generals say that they wish they had them on their side. Like a general said that.
Yeah.
He was like, damn, I wish I had some of these guys.
Yeah. Well,
was
I
like,
mean,
gee,
think about how
dude.
demoralized. Okay, so like when, Lieutenant Dan went
Yes.
there, that was early in the war, right? That was
Right.
like,
I think
I believe it was set like kind of towards the beginning
I
of.
think you're
the war,
correct.
or like,
because the
yeah, something
protesting
like that.
kept going on when he came back.
Right. So they were early in the war. They did their tours and then they came back. But imagine those guys, and once the draft was instituted, you bet your ass every American guy who had to go there was dreading going, or like let's say
yeah.
80% were like, this is gonna suck.
Yes.
I might die. The reason they instituted the draft is because we're taking heavy casualties, and now I have to go to basic training and then to a foreign country and fight for something that I barely understand.
Almost
and,
probably
just
every
for freedom.
I mean, just like every single teenager or 20-something-year-old guy had a friend or a friend of a friend who died.
Yeah.
And then it's your turn. And you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that's why there's
God.
like, dude, there's a great video. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's of the,
I did, and I hated it.
come on, the video of these, like one of the companies, they were just like being followed by a documentary crew. So it was like a bunch of military dudes getting filmed, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is our shotgun. It's where we give each other shotguns."
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, "What?" And they like took a pipe, like some weed,
Yes.
and then like put it into the actual like where you load a shell for a shotgun, and then one guy was just blowing on it like, and smoke was pouring out the other end, and all the other guys were like,
yeah, you put your mouth
Yeah.
around the barrel
and they just
of
like
a shotgun.
they pointed the shotgun at all the other guys that were there, and were just like blowing weed smoke in their face. And there was like a huge problem with heroin addiction, and like because
yeah, for sure.
because nobody wanted to fucking be there.
No, that was the only way out, was just drug out.
Yeah.
My
Get
dad
stoned
knew-
enough to be a sloth and not get shot for 8 months, and then you get to go home.
My dad knew a guy who got addicted to heroin, or not addicted. He loved heroin while he was there. I should say that. And so you could buy like a brick of it for like $40 or whatever. Like it was nothing for like huge amounts over there.
Yeah,
And
because it's really close to the source. There's none of the smuggling risk or anything. It's
no, the
yeah.
farms are around.
It's
So
cheap.
Then my dad said this guy started mailing it to himself, like to his like parents' house. And it was just like, please put all of this in a box or whatever. Like, and he was just mailing himself just ounces at a time. And then it was just pounds and pounds. And my dad was like, are you going to sell that when you get back home? And the guy was like, no, man, that's just for me. I don't know where to get it. Like back at home, he was just like, he was just buying like pounds of heroin for himself.
Hey, man, when I get back, I won't have to go anywhere.
Dude,
I can just be in my own heroin den.
That's a good tree
that's
stump,
so
dude.
bizarre.
You OD on heroin your first night back. Party time.
Yeah. Jesus.
Oh my god.
Dude,
I
heroin,
apologize to all Vietnam vets, including my father. And
what are you apologizing for talking about it?
I was on the Viet Cong side. I've always been pro Viet Cong. You guys can put that in writing on this podcast. I've always been pro Viet Cong.
That's going to be the episode title. Matt is pro Viet Cong.
Oh no!
Matt defends his pro Viet Cong stance on this hot button episode.
Look, I am Charlie, bro. That's all you gotta know.
He's illegally changing his name to Charlie.
Oh my god!
Oh boy, that is
Woo!
ridiculous. Oh shit!
Actually,
you know
like
what?
20 minutes in. God damn it!
Really buried the lead. No, but I mean, if you think about it, though, like in all reality, I understand their plight. Right?
Sure.
Like I'm not pro Viet Cong as in anti-American necessarily,
I don't
but
think it really matters
I understand
anymore,
their
but...
position. Any insurgent or guerrilla fighters that are trying to defend their home from a foreign invader, I sympathize with.
I mean, look, you happen to be born there and have your shitty beliefs, and they're all shitty no matter where you're born.
Let them all just do their own thing and figure it out. The way that they want to run their own country. Why are we there? And that's, that goes
sweet,
for
sweet oil, sweet, precious opium, free rocks.
We got plenty of money to buy it, man. People are willing to pay good money for all that shit. So why are we killing people? Although I do think more people should die across the earth. I do think more people should be dead.
Don't
I'm
worry.
pro death, but I'm anti-mean tactics to achieve that.
You want more people to slip off cliffs, get eaten by fucking alligators.
Oh man, I want the alligator population to explode. And go.
You've always been pro alligator,
dude. If I had to brave a gauntlet of alligators on my way to work every day, I would do it if it meant that the population would be under control and we wouldn't be destroying our environment.
Run across their heads like in that James Bond movie.
Oh yeah, did you know that was real? That stunt was actual.
It's actually real.
The guy really ran across a bunch of crocodiles' backs.
Stuntman stepped on like 5 croc heads and got across a river, and it's real.
He's like, that's like the weirdest day of work ever for that guy. And he fell a couple times too, and it was like, I'm like, get out of here,
dude. I mean, there is an outtake where one of them tries to bite his leg as he steps on it, of course, which it should. Yeah. Looked like, was there an animal rights person nearby that was just like, this is cool. This is all good.
They had the Humane Society there to make sure no crocs were harmed.
The Humane Society dude is just like, he's like, that's why they got that fucking armor on their back, so you can step on them real nice. Fucking try to smush their faces. You can't. You're a goddamn animal.
You could step on them, but don't stomp.
You gotta be gentle. You gotta be nice.
Sure. Can it hold up the weight of one man? Hell, these guys could have two guys running across them.
You put a guy on your back and another guy on your shoulders. These Crocs are tough. I don't know, man. Why the
You guys need any, I don't know, like 10,000 scorpions in this scene? Because I got them in my car.
I got him in my truck.
I got them in my Pacifica.
Every reptile wrangler I have ever met has been a guy that's like, "Hey, you want a fucking 30-foot python? I got one.
Yes.
I got one in the. He's warming up on my engine block right now. Let's go pop the hood and grab him
Just
out
got
of my 1989 Chevy Astro van. That's
snakes are just flying out of his tailpipe when he drives off.
when he revs his car engine, it just hisses. It's just everything about this guy's life is snake related.
Dude, I worked on a commercial and we had a snake wrangler there because it was like in a pine forest. And he kept like he wouldn't stay on set. He would just run off into the woods. And I just saw him like he was just kicking over logs and branches and shit. And was just like, oh, and just would grab a snake. And then like
He's intentionally sneaking, seeking out the snakes.
yeah, he went and found them in the woods and then ran them back to set and was like, hey, this year's a reticulated whatever. And you're just like, what the fuck? It was like,
Bro,
get them
you're supposed
away
to just
from the set.
keep them away from us, not bring them to us. Like, yeah, this one's incredibly venomous and dangerous. We better watch yourself if you see one of these puppies around.
It's awesome. It was insane.
I mean, they're incredibly informative people. You know, I love being educated, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, I'm working here.
Oh, I got a name drop animal wrangler story.
Yes.
I was working on a commercial for David Gordon Green. He was directing.
Oh, sick.
And if anyone hasn't seen David Gordon Green's
He's
movies,
awesome.
you should.
Go watch his movies and his commercials.
And TV shows like The Righteous Gemstones on HBO.
Or
Our new sponsor.
Our new sponsor, The Righteous Gemstones. That's right. We're starting a church. That's it.
That was a short commercial. Damn. Oh yeah. So on this commercial, there was this crazy animal wrangler lady who showed up with a woodchuck or whatever. It was like a fucking
woodchuck.
yeah.
Oh.
And
could you answer a question for me? How much wood could the woodchuck?
she's like, don't even fucking.
Don't
So,
even mention that. I get
this-
that all the time with my woodchuck.
This woman pulled up in a car that had a 10-foot long stucco cat on the roof. And it was like a small car.
Oh my
The
gosh.
cat was almost the size of the car. She had a giant cat on her roof. So she shows up with a woodchuck and
Oh my god, dude.
she puts it on a barrel and it's just like walking around and doing its fucking thing, woodchucking around. And David Gordon Green goes, could you have it walk, take a couple steps on the barrel and then look at the camera? And she goes, no, it's a woodchuck. David Gordon Green was he was like, oh yeah, right. He's like, fine. God damn it.
Oh no! Oh shit! It's not a trained woodchuck. It's just a woodchuck that she
they're
just has around.
untrainable little animals. I don't. It's what you asked for.
I mean,
But you
God
gotta
bless
ask,
her.
as a
Yeah, you
director,
gotta ask.
you gotta
Yeah,
ask.
of course. You you got to ask for insane things if you're a director. Even if you're a great director like David Gordon Green or any of the great directors, they will ask someone on the crew to do something completely insane. Like it's just like
that breaks the laws of physics.
It's a creative idea, and they're just like, this would be cool if we can do it. Let me just ask the insane question and hope someone says, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, it's like a stunt. Like could the car roll over like 3 more times? And it's like, no.
Yeah, probably
absolutely not.
We already did the stunt, and we don't have a second car to wreck right now. So we blew like 2 tons of TNT with the explosions. We can't redo it.
Talk about the most enthusiastic mechanics are car mechanics on film sets. Oh boy, do they love ripping cars apart and doing crazy shit to them. It's pretty
like
wild.
It's the best job. Like if you working on a movie set in any capacity is like great because you do get to do insane things with like your normal everyday stuff. It's like it's
highly stressful, but you do get to see cool shit sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. And then the other half, it's incredibly boring, and you're just waiting. You're just hiding so that the camera can't see you, and then you go back out and reset and do it again.
We had a this windshield that was broken on our hero van, the main van in our TV show, on the Outer Banks. It was broken. It like went through a fence or something in an earlier scene, and it broke. It has like a crack in its windshield, and someone like misheard something, and they replaced the windshield with like a brand new one. And the fucking dude, like the main auto guy, walked up and was like, what the fuck? He was like, it's supposed to have a crack. He goes, that's supposed to stay there, like for continuity. And he just like looked around. He was like, God damn it! And he just pulled his hammer off of his tool belt, and he just fucking hit it right in that spot. And it cracked again, like pretty close. And he was like, all right, it's fine, and just walked away. I was like, this job fucking rules.
You'll never see that in the wild.
No, you'll never see that at all.
Supposed to be cracked.
Yeah, you'll never see it anywhere.
That's awesome.
By the way, your video has been freezing on and off, but
fuck,
I'm just ignoring it.
Well, thanks for letting me know. Cut all this shit out.
Cut all this out, and we're back.
And we're back. Wow, what a quick interruption.
That was fun, guys. Yeah.
Sorry. I was making noise.
I think my mom is going completely insane.
Why?
She sent me a text this morning, and she just said, "Are you in Walmart?" And I just wrote back, no. And then she didn't write me back. I was like, what is happening? Are you in Walmart? Mom, we don't even live together. I have my own place. Like, what kind of a question is that?
You didn't ask, like, what? Did you see a doppelganger? You didn't follow up at all?
That's what I assume, is that...
We got to get the story. Let's call her. Call your mom right now. Just be like, hey, Mom, I just wanted to tell you that I actually was in Walmart earlier when you texted me.
And you're nuts. Oh, my God.
I tricked you. Yeah, I don't know. If my mom texted me that because we live on opposite coasts, I would be concerned. But your mom being like, oh, hey, are you in Walmart right now? That's
true.
Not that crazy.
Oh, dude.
But I do think you should have her committed to a mental institution immediately.
Yeah, I'm going to try to as quickly as possible. Get this lady out of here.
Get her.
Dude.
Get her some care.
My mom is the big 7-0.
Oh, she's 70.
Rip-a-dip-dip. Yeah, so She's
dad-
way too spry for her
Yeah.
age.
Oh, she is. She's like with it, man.
She's
My
nuts.
dad just retired from his job
Ooh.
at 71.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. He is no longer a medevac helicopter pilot.
That was a pretty cool gig.
Pretty cool. And it was funny. His choice to retire was because he was like, they wanted me to go and do another check ride in Denver, like all this shit, just like inside baseball of
Yeah,
like being
real
a
technical.
helicopter pilot. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I just didn't like that simulator they put me on because it's not like the kind of helicopter that I have at my base that I fly every day. So I would always have to like, modify the processes that I would do in my helicopter to fit the helicopter that they have, and then change the way that I do things because I'm used to using like manual instruments and they want you to do all this stuff with like the autopilot and all this like, so he just has like
Computer
slightly different
stuff.
process. Yeah. Like slightly different processes, like with how he operates an aircraft, to where like they want you to do certain things a certain way to pass the check. And he's like, but every time I'm flying an approach near a giant airport, the air traffic controllers tell me to do this and I have to go at 140 knots instead of 90 knots like they want me to. And I was just like, so they were just annoying and that's why you retired?
That's an old man reason to quit. You're
Yeah.
like, things are changing.
He's like, these nerds in the simulator want me to do this. And yeah, it's just funny. But he has crazy stories about like flying into DC hospitals, getting followed by F-16s, like escorts. Wow. Yeah, like crazy.
Yeah, so you don't do anything stupid.
Yeah, because they want to make sure that, you're who you said you were to air traffic control.
I'm just trying to give the president a free helicopter. What's wrong with that? I'm trying
What's
to park
wrong
it
with that?
I'm trying to park it as close to his office as possible.
Yeah. Well, air traffic control, could you tell me which side of the White House the Oval Office is on? I'm aiming right for it.
Thanks, champ.
Thanks, champ. You're a real darling. Yeah. So anyway, he's an older man, and he's no longer going to be able to flirt with nurses that fly on his helicopter.
Illegally fly too close to mountains because it's fun.
Yeah, dude, I flew with him one time. It was amazing, by the way. Flying in a helicopter, I highly recommend it. It's pretty cool. And my dad flew so much that I like really wasn't nervous.
Right.
But
there was like harbor tours. I'm like, you have like a 50-50 chance of getting back alive. Dude,
those guys, hey, welcome everybody. It's my first day flying this thing. Let's see how it goes. All right, here we go.
Dude, the one in New York that crashed, it was one of those just like, we're going to fly around the Statue of Liberty, guys. And it took off and it just went vertical directly into the path of a private plane.
Oh, shit.
It just really knocked it out of the sky. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, holy shit. But like, there's so much air traffic and boat traffic around New York City. And there's a fucking dumbass tour in a helicopter. Just like weaving in and out of like private helicopters. Like all those skyscrapers have helicopters take off constantly.
Yeah.
Like CEOs and shit.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
Yeah. They don't deal with traffic. They just get in a helicopter and go to whatever private airport their PJ is parked at, and then they fly across the country or whatever. That's insane, by the way. Just like that
said that that may have been a Louis C.K. joke. He was like, the money that's made in those skyscrapers is airlifted off the roof and taken far away from that city.
Not wrong.
So great.
Oh, God. So insane.
But yes, there's a lot of fucking crazy traffic. And your dad is a super badass. He's told me some stories about like lying to people to like get certain routes accomplished and just They're just like, oh, it's too foggy to go that way. Bullshit. Check this out.
Yeah, he's like, well, I know a way around that.
Which is
He's
how,
like, yeah, if I just fly underneath the, whatever the cloud, like the cloud ceiling, like, yeah, he would just.
So
he would
like
do a lot of stuff that maybe
Top Gun
the
2 flying through the
helicopter
canyon.
pilot that Kobe Bryant was riding with would do.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
thing is
like,
every one of
dude,
those
don't
pilots
do
is
that.
like, I fucking got this. And
Yeah, I fly around here all the time. I know where the mountains are, man. It's
dude,
fine.
the president of Iran exploded against a mountain. Like the president of the country, because the dude fucking flew, and they looked into it and they're like, it was this foggy mountain range, and like the helicopter pilot flew directly into the mountain. It's like, that was an accident. It was not any
It wasn't?
cover up.
Are you
I don't think
sure?
so.
I don't know. But yeah, it could have been. Could have been an accident.
They said it was basically the same conditions as the Kobe Bryant thing. That's what I had heard.
Sucks so bad. Yeah.
You don't realize how fast you're fucking going until you can see the mountain coming at you.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Like, uh-oh.
Oh, that would suck.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't suck for long. It would be over pretty quick.
Dude, unless you're like the Alive guys. Holy shit.
Oh, dude.
I read that book. I watched the movie and read that book, Alive, about the rugby team that goes down.
Yeah, in the Andes Mountains or something, and they have to like try to survive long enough to be discovered.
The tail section of their airplane is sheared off by the tip of the mountain, and they're like 4,000 feet in the air. Like, they don't have a tail, and people are getting sucked out of the back of the plane. Like, anyone not in their seat is just gone. And then they fell. The reason they survived the crash, or most of them survived the crash, was because they just hit going down slope on the other side of that mountain that they sheared off on. So they just hit the fucking snow and just sledded down.
Just sledding. That's the
just
most.
Like, holy shit.
That's the scariest sledding experience ever.
It's a very unexpected one. That's for sure.
You're just like, oh no.
Hey, do you expect to be sledding down a snowy mountain in 20 seconds from right now? What are you talking about? Whoosh!
Dude, getting sucked out of an airplane.
Life really takes a turn.
Yeah, getting sucked out of an airplane going the speed of like however fast that. I mean, I assume the airplane is going like 200 miles an hour or something.
At least.
If it could have been going faster if it was a bigger plane. But like shearing the back of your airplane off. Like, did they see the tip of the mountain and start to pull up, and that's why it only hit the tail? Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
that is so scary. But like, I've flown enough now that like I don't have to do this anymore. But at a certain I would start to get nervous before I flew up until I was like 35, and I was like, okay, I have to just be okay with this. If this is it. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to just let go.
That's
like,
my
I have
strategy
to have a mortality
too.
Conversation with myself.
Yeah, that's my strategy. I get on the plane. I'm like, this plane's going to go down, and there's nothing I can do about it.
It's so fucked up,
dude.
Air travel is so convenient, but also, if you're the one of the statistics, man, that would be bad.
You know what I do whenever I have that feeling on an airplane? This is my strategy. I jump out of my seat and I go, this fucking plane is going down. No. That really calms me down.
Yeah. And everyone else on the plane too.
Yeah, everyone cheers for me. They're like, yeah, right on, brother.
Did I ever tell you about that book that I read? I can't remember the name now. Sorry, I'm burping because I drank some fluids. But it's a book called Truth and Comedy is what it's called, by Kim Howard Johnson. No, it's a book about climate change and about how people can solve it. Did I ever tell you about this?
Oh, A Dork's Guide to Earth Shit.
Yep, that's it. Thank you. You found the correct title.
I knew.
No, but anyway, I'll think of it. But it was it was really crazy because one of the airplane thing made me think of it because there was an extremist faction that was like, eco terrorists essentially,
Right.
and there was a day called Crash Day in the book where in order to stop global warming from creating crazy heat waves and destabilizing the planet further, they're like, well, if there are no airplanes flying in the sky, that will get rid of a lot of carbon pollution.
Sure. Technically.
So they just flew a bunch of drone swarms into the engines of 200 commercial aircraft and crashed them. Got them to crash.
That's not terrifying?
It's insane. So if it gets bad enough, the intellectual property is out there in the world. There could be some people who try to copycat this book.
Why did you say that on the internet again? God damn it.
I'm not saying it should happen. I'm saying it might. It could.
Oh, God damn it.
So
I just got TSA pre-check, dude, and I'm going to fucking lose it. Because of you and your horseshit.
Yeah, when your plane crashes, you're worried about losing your pre-check, not about losing your consciousness forever.
Dude, here's my promise. If I'm ever on a plane and it is fucking doomed, it's going down, even if we're going nose down, I'm going to fucking get up and I'm going to hit the fucking attendant call button. Fucking hit it and like just keep hitting it. Excuse me.
The trajectory of the plane, please.
Hey, our plane is going straight down. And bring me a red wine, you goose.
You goose.
You air turtle.
Dude, that would be so funny. Like the flight attendants are like, "We're going down." Ah! And like a guy who's been sober for 30 years, he's just like, "Fuck!" And he like gets up and runs, just like emptying many bottles of vodka into his mouth. Like, and then he's like, "Fuck it!" And then like the plane rights itself.
Yeah,
and he's like,
"Of course, it writes itself."
Oh no! What have I done? My serenity.
I'm going straight to the Chili's bar.
I'm gonna get $5.
Honey, I'm not coming home tonight. I thought the plane was going down, so I drank 20 many bottles.
I had a near-death experience, and now I have alcohol poisoning.
He's the guy they have the duct tape to the chair.
Yeah,
I love when they have to wrap people to chairs. That's the best.
Do they do that? No.
Yes, I think they will do that if they have to. It's basically
Awesome.
like it's almost like saran wrap. Like I've seen people like saran wrap someone to their chair.
Dude, how do you even do that if they're fighting against you? I mean, it's impressive.
The entire plane turns on you.
Yeah.
Oh my god,
dude. Just be kind when you're traveling.
No, dude. Push. Get there first. Be the first on the plane. Win. Always win.
I love that.
Fucking put your bag over the first class section. Take a seat. And if anyone says that they have a ticket to sit there, go, "This man has been pretending to be me for years. Get him out of here.
Eject him from this aircraft, please."
His real name is Ronald McDougalstein, and he is a con man of the highest caliber. That's how I get in first class, baby.
One time I got upgraded to first class on the plane.
Sick.
Because a stewardess like flirted with me and was like, "You're pretty tall."
Nice.
And I was like, "Yeah, these seats are going to be very uncomfortable." And she was like, "Well, yeah." And then, so we chatted, and then I went back, and she comes back and she's like, "Excuse me, sir. Can you please grab your belongings and come with me?" And I was like, "What? What is this?" And
she ejects you out of the side of the plane.
She made me go down the little rubber slide that inflates on
into
the side of the
open
plane.
air.
Into the open.
No, it slides you into the engine.
It was before we took off, but she took me up to the front
Sick.
and she was like, "Here you go, just sit here." It was like someone from first class that didn't show up, and she was like, "Just take it." And then she was like feeding me champagne the whole flight. I was like, "This is pretty cool."
It's like the old days.
Yeah, it was great.
You should have flirted harder and been like, honey, come on, just for a little bit, let me be the pilot.
Yeah.
She sits you in the very front.
I swear I know what I'm doing around the instruments. Trust me.
The pilot's a fat dude who he has to go sit in first class. He's like, I want to fly my plane.
Do you think the pilots' lounges, like, they have tanning beds and mustache trimmers and stuff, so that like you can look
so
like
many
the
mustache
exact
trimmers
pilot? Or yeah, you just like stick your face in this little hole and it just like meow, like trims your mustache perfectly.
They have their own food court, but every single restaurant is actually just a mustache waxing place. and then one new hat store for pilot hats.
Yeah, they have like they have a button polishing store where you just get it just does your buttons on your uniform.
And then just a hose with whiskey in it. You just drink out of.